Welcome to Wayne's Golf Cart Service. I'm Wayne. Today I'm going to show you how to physically install your own MCOR, they call it, Motor Controller Output Regulator. MCOR for short, MCOR. This is a Club Car Precedent that we're going to be doing this on. This is the MCOR that goes on this cart. This is the most common failure on a Club Car golf cart. These things seem to last 7 years normally. And how you can tell you need one of these, your cart will start hesitating. When you step on a pedal, all of a sudden it'll feel like a dead spot and then you'll get by it. Well, if that happens, this is the issue. This is what you need to install. We install these. We probably install 1 to 2 of these every week out here. So we wanted to make a video so you guys can do it yourself if you're do-it-yourselfers. So this is the Club Car Precedent. What you need to install this, these are the tools. What you need is you need 2 half-inch wrenches, end wrenches, 2 of those, a marker, a 5/16 wrench or socket, and 2 Torx bits. One of them is T40, the other one is T30. This is what you need. So, and gloves. I always wear gloves. The reason you don't need to wear gloves. I like to keep my hands clean and soft for the ladies. So here we go. So the first thing you do on anytime you're working on a golf cart, you want to make sure the key's off. On a Precedent, they have a run toe switch under the seat. You want to make sure you switch this into the toe position anytime you're working on it. The car won't run in tow, but what it does, it kills the electric to the different areas of the golf cart. First thing we need to do is these side panels, we're going to loosen them up. We're going to take this Torx, looks like the T40 bit, and we're going to pull these. There's 4 screws, 2 on each side. You pull those out, put them aside, and when you do that, the mat will come out. This right here is what we're trying to get to. Now over there I've already pulled the mat out. So this is, you pull this mat out. Under here and under here is where it gets stuck. Get that out there first. You just pull this mat around the pedals, and when I get this out of here, you're gonna see how dirty it is down there. So this is why. This is where this MCOR is located. Once you get that, there's a trap door right here that's usually held down by a little plastic Christmas tree. You open that up. Now this is the MCOR down here. You can barely see the end of it. Now here's what we're going to do. This right here is your brake, your whole brake setup. So what we want to do, we want to take the marker and mark the threads so we get this back in the same spot. We're marking the threads on each side of these jam nuts. Also, this is how you adjust the brakes, which we'll have in another video. Once you mark those, you take your 2 half-inch wrenches. One of these is left-handed threads, one of them's right-handed threads. So you're holding this one and you want to loosen the nut. So on this one, I'm pulling the nut to me. I back that jam nut up. Now, we lucked out. This is loose. We're going to unscrew this. We didn't even have to touch this end, but we're going to unscrew this. Now, that just loosened this up, so we can remove this assembly. Now we're going back to our Torx bits, and these 2 bolts and these 2 bolts are different size. This is the smaller one. These are really long, and these are the ones that give you problems. And I'll show you why. These are really long and they get rusty. So right now, see, these are they're unthreaded. They don't come out any farther, but you have to work and wiggle to get these screws out. Sometimes you got to get a pair of channel locks, which it looks like is going to be the case here. So while I'm here, I'll go ahead and take, these two are usually easy to get out. As you can see, they're fatter screws. We're going to throw those up there. Now let me grab a pair of channel locks and we'll do this. I'm just trying to wiggle this and pull up on it. So this is what the screw looks like. And you see that long shank on it? That is what I'm fighting to get out of here right now. These things, sometimes I end up having to chisel these out of here. Yeah, baby, got it out of there. Okay, now this whole assembly lifts up, and I put it here. This is the MCOR, you can see. That's the whole thing. So what we want to do, we want to unplug these two connectors. So you have to squeeze on the bottom. There's a tab on each one that you push in and you pull. Sometimes you got to get a screwdriver to get them out. That's one. Let's see if I can get the other one. There you go. So once you get that out, you can take this whole assembly, throw it up on a workbench if you want, to make it easier to get this. As a matter of fact, we will throw it on the workbench, and I'm going to show you how to change this. Now, you throw this up here. These two screws right here are what we need to get this off. And that's where the 5/16 wrench comes in, or socket, or whatever is easier for you. They're not very long screws because they're threading into plastic. But once you get these two screws out, and you don't need, sometimes I've changed this without taking the whole assembly out, but it's just a lot easier. I do it in the field, and obviously they don't have a workbench, but I just take it out and do it on the back of my van, or even on the floor of the golf cart if it's not carpeted. So once you get that out, this thing should just come out. It just slides off. Another thing, the oval on this is how you tell that this fits a Precedent golf cart. They only have two configurations of that, and in another video I'm going to explain the difference, but this is the one that fits this. So here's a new one. We take this, we put it right back on there, slides right in. We put these two screws back in. And as far as the MCOR install, that's all there is to installing it. You need very little tools. You don't need to have a whole bunch of fancy tools. As you can see, a socket would be probably faster than this, but this is the way we do it. So all we're doing now is we're going to assemble all of this in the reverse order. If this was a customer's cart, this is just a cart that we actually rent out here. So I'm not going to do it, but whenever I have these out of here, I take a little WD-40 and I spray on all these gears and springs, since it's out, just to lube them up. Because as you can see, they rust because the water comes up from under on the golf courses, and it rusts these springs and stuff. And you never, as you can see, what it takes to get this out of here. There's no way to lubricate that without doing it this way. So there we go. We're ready to put this thing back in. And once we put this back in, we will have no more hesitation. Before we put that in there, you can see every golf cart you pull apart, it's got all this debris in here. It's dead grass and crap that comes up from underneath the golf cart. We normally take a vacuum and clean all this out real nice, so we do a nice job for the customer. I'm not going to vacuum this right now because of the noise on the recording. But what you do want to do, you do want to clean anywhere that this trap door lays. Just make sure that it doesn't have pebbles or debris on there. So I would normally vacuum this crap here up, but we'll do that later. For the video, we're just going to put this back in now. We've got the new MCOR on it. The easiest thing to do is plug it in now. So I start with this triangle looking thing. Just plug it in till it clicks, you know it's all the way in. Then plug this one in. And I'll explain what those wires are in our other video, but you get those in there, you set it in there. Now you're ready to put this back together. So we're going to put this back together. We're going to start with these two problem screws, and we're just going to get them started. You don't want to screw this down until you get all four of these started. So we're just going to put this in here. That one is started. That one started. I'm going to swap bits for the bigger screws. Okay, we're going to go over here. We're going to put these bigger screws in here. Come back. I'm going to come back and tighten these other two up. Now all we have to do is put our brakes back together. We do that by, we pull this rod. We're going to take this rod and screw it back inside this rod coupling, they call this. And you can see my previous mark on there that I made. That is how we know where we were before. So however these brakes were adjusted before, they're going to be exactly the same. So we're going to screw this about right there. Then we're going to take this jam nut and tighten it up till we see our mark over there. And all we do is we tighten this up. We hold this rod coupling. We take this, we tighten it, and now the brakes are back together. And other than putting the trap door back on, which is this, you just put this trap door back on. You put the little Christmas tree thing in there to keep it from rattling, and you put the mat back on. And that is how you change your MCOR. Probably 20 minutes max, I would think. If you get all the tools ahead of time and you watch that video, you're done. There's no adjusting. Now you're ready to go. All you do is you flip it back into run now, and you're ready to go. That hesitation you had is gone. So watch for a future video on these MCORs, motor control output regulator, and we'll show you pictures and explain more about them. But that's how you change one. That's simple. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on another video.